Let's be real. You see them every day. That one kid who always finishes early. The one who somehow aces everything, still sleeps 8 hours, and doesn't even look stressed. Meanwhile, you're barely keeping up. You stay up late, reread the same page 10 times, and still feel like you're... And here's the kicker. They're not working harder than you. They're not cheating, not technically, but somehow they're bending the rules of the game and winning. So what are they doing that you're not? This isn't about being smarter. It's about learning how to hack a system that was never built for you in the fur. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how top students cheat the system without breaking a single rule and how Y can do it. Part 1. Reality check. You wake up already tired. The day hasn't even started and your brain feels foggy. You scroll through your phone because facing school, deadlines, and pressure feels like too much, especially on a Monday morning. You tell yourself you'll get serious later, you'll catch up, you'll finally be that version of you who's on top of everything. But then later comes, and you're stuck. Again, you stare at your laptop, you try to study, but your mind drifts, your focus breaks, and a voice in your head whispers, why can't I just be disciplined like everyone else? The guilt sets in. You feel lazy, behind, maybe even broken. But what if I told you you're not the problem? Because here's the truth. The way school is set up today, most students are silently struggling just like you, and the system was never designed to support how your brain actually works. It rewards people who can sit still, memorize fast, and repeat information under pressure. It doesn't care how creative you are, how curious you are, or how deeply you understand things. It only cares about how quickly you can adapt to a rigid structure, deadlines, tests, grades, even if that structure is slowly burning you out. So while you sit there, beating yourself up for procrastinating, for feeling overwhelmed, for not trying hard enough, the system just keeps moving, like a machine. No pause, no reset, just more assignments, more pressure, more silent competition. No one tells you how hard it is to concentrate when your mental health is hanging by a thread. No one talks about the crushing anxiety of checking your grades at 2 a.m. because it feels like your entire future is riding on a number. No one admits how fake it all feels showing up to class with a blank stare, pretending you're okay when you're actually drowning. And yet somehow there are students who seem to breeze through it all. The ones who don't even look stressed, who don't cram, who manage their time and still have a life. You wonder how they do it. Are they just born smarter? Are they secretly cheating? Here's the twist. They are cheating, but not in the way you think. They're not looking up answers on their phone during a test. They're not bribing teachers or copying assignments. They're doing something way smarter. They figured out that to win a broken game, you have to stop playing by the broken rules. Because while most students are stuck trying to be perfect, grinding 12 hours a day, filling notebooks, memorizing useless info they'll forget next week, top students are doing something else entirely. They're not trying to master everything. They're learning how to leverage everything. They're learning how the system actually works, and they use it against itself. And the scary part? Nobody teaches this. You're taught to obey the syllabus, to follow the instructions, to study harder, sleep less, push more. You're told that if you fail, it's your fault, that your results reflect your worth. But what if that's the biggest lie of all? What if the real reason you're behind isn't because you're lazy or undisciplined, but because no one ever showed you how to actually learn efficiently in the first place? Think about it. You've been taught algebra, history, science, but not how to manage your focus, not how to plan your week, not how to deal with burnout, self-doubt, or paralyzing fear of failure. No one ever handed you a system for how to actually think like a top student. So you've been guessing, drowning in tips and hacks, trying to copy other people's routines without ever understanding why they work. Meanwhile, the top students, they've stopped guessing. They've started observing the rules of the system and then bending them, observing how teachers grade, how to get the most out of a class with the least effort, how to memorize smarter, not longer, how to spot what actually matters and ruthlessly ignore the rest. It's not about being a genius, it's about stepping back, seeing the bigger picture, and realizing that working harder isn't the answer if you're working on the wrong things. But no one tells you this, because the system doesn't want you to think like that. It wants you obedient, tired, always grinding, always feeling like you're not doing enough so you never question the way things are. That ends today. Because once you see what's really going on, once you see how top students cheat without breaking any rules, You'll stop blaming yourself. You'll stop feeling behind. And for the first time, you'll actually feel in control. Not because everything suddenly got easier. Part 2. The academic hack no one teaches you. How top students actually cheat the system, and how you can too. So now you know, the game isn't fair. The system is outdated, and grinding harder isn't the answer. But here's the part nobody tells you: you can cheat the system without cheating yourself. And it starts by throwing out everything you've been taught about being a good student. Because the truth is, top students don't follow the rules of school. They follow the rules of leverage. They've learned how to use minimal effort for maximum result. They don't obsess over every assignment. They don't read every page. They don't memorize everything. What they do is prioritize. They observe what the system actually rewards, and they double down on that. Let's break down exactly how they do it. 1. They study the system before they study the subject. Most students open the textbook first. Top students open the rubric, the syllabus, the past exams, the patterns. They know that school rewards output, not effort. It doesn't matter how many hours you studied if you studied the wrong thing. So they spend time up front reverse engineering the course. What does the teacher actually care about? What kinds of questions keep coming up? What's the format of the test? Is it more conceptual or detail-based? They don't guess, they scout. And once they know where the marks come from, they only study what's high yield. That one mental shift, it cuts 50% of the workload instantly. 2. They ruthlessly eliminate the unnecessary. Top students are not perfectionists. They're pragmatists. If a task won't improve their grade, their understanding, or their future, they drop it. That means not reading every assigned page, not rewriting all their notes in 10 colors, not doing optional practice problems if they already get the concept. They let go of the guilt that says, I should be doing more, and instead ask, what's the least I can do to confidently master this? Efficiency isn't laziness, it's intelligence. 3. They create scalable study systems, not motivation-based chaos. You know that feeling when you're in the zone? Everything clicks. You're focused, productive, unstoppable. The problem is, you can't count on it. Motivation is unreliable. Top students know this. So instead of waiting to feel like it, they build study systems that don't depend on mood. They use time blocking, Pomodoros, spaced repetition, active recall. They prep their environment in advance, no distractions, everything within reach, timers on, phone out of sight. They don't rely on willpower, they rely on design. And once it's automatic, the resistance fades, the overwhelm disappears. It becomes routine like brushing your teeth. 4. They don't try to remember everything. They learn to forget strategically. Here's the truth. Your brain isn't built to hold everything, but school tricks you into thinking you're supposed to. So you cram, you panic, you forget. Top students don't try to hold everything in their head, they build external brains. Flashcards, summary sheets, question banks, voice notes. They create quick reference tools that let them review faster and more often. They focus on recall, not rereading. They don't highlight passively. They quiz themselves actively. Because memory isn't about how many times you saw something, it's about how many times you retrieved it. The more you recall, the more it sticks. That's how they remember weeks later, not just the night before. 5. They focus on pattern recognition, not just knowledge absorption. Most students try to memorize content. Top students look for patterns. They zoom out. They ask, what's the structure behind this topic? What are the rules that keep repeating? What's the big picture? In math, they don't memorize 50 formulas, they understand how formulas are derived. In history, they don't try to recall random dates, they track causes and effects. In science, they map out systems, not isolated facts. Once they see the pattern, everything else becomes easier to learn. And it sticks longer, because knowledge without structure is just noise. But structure gives you leverage. 6. They don't chase motivation, they chase momentum. There's a difference. Motivation says, I want to start. Momentum says, I don't want to stop. Top students don't wait to feel inspired. They start tiny, but consistently. Even 5 minutes of focus builds enough momentum to carry them through a session. They know that the hardest part of studying is starting, so they hack it. They use rituals, the same playlist, the same drink, the same time of day to signal their brain, it's go time. Over time, this becomes a habit loop. The brain stops resisting, and the work feels lighter. 7. They use strategic laziness. This might sound weird, but listen. Top students are selectively lazy. They ask, how can I get this done faster without sacrificing results? They find past notes. They watch summary videos. They use AI to quiz themselves. They collaborate and divide the workload. They don't waste time formatting perfect Cornell notes if a messy mind map works better. They don't aim for 100% on every quiz if 80% still gets the A. They ask, what's the return on my effort? And if it's low, they pull back because saving time on one task means more energy for the next. 8. They redefine what success means to them. Top students don't aim to be perfect. They aim to be effective, and they define success for themselves. For some, it's getting into a top university. For others, it's avoiding burnout. For others, it's having time for passion projects in school. They don't try to impress everyone. They focus on what matters to them. And that mindset, that sense of internal control, keeps them motivated, focused, and resilient because they're not just reacting to pressure, they're choosing their path and owning it. 9. They don't go it alone. They build smart support systems. Here's the secret. Behind every top student is a group chat, a study buddy, a mentor, a YouTube playlist, a saved Reddit thread. They don't pretend they have it all figured out. They ask for help. They share notes. They look up shortcuts. They outsource feedback. They know that school feels like a solo game, but it's not. And tapping into support systems isn't cheating, it's optimizing. The smartest students use every resource available, teachers, apps, communities, friends, because they understand. Success isn't about doing everything yourself. It's about not being afraid to get help. 10. They protect their energy ruthlessly. Let's be honest. Burnout is real. And if you're constantly tired, anxious, or sleep deprived, no study strategy will save you. Top students understand that rest is productive. They prioritize sleep. They take real breaks. They say no to draining commitments. They manage social energy. They unplug when needed. Because mental clarity isn't optional, it's a performance tool. They protect their focus like it's sacred. Because it is. So what does this all mean for you? It means you don't have to change who you are. You don't need to be more disciplined, more motivated, or more gifted. You just need to start thinking like a systems hacker. Someone who stops blindly following and starts strategically adapting. It means you can stop feeling guilty for not doing what everyone else is doing and start doing what actually works for you. Your brain, your schedule, your goals. It means that from today forward, you are allowed to win without burning out. You are allowed to take shortcuts if they're smart. You are allowed to cheat the system by learning how to outsmart it. Because the top students, they're not breaking rules. They're just done letting the rules break them. They don't chase perfection, they chase leverage. They don't try to learn everything, they figure out what actually matters and go all in on that. They don't obey every rule. They observe which ones are optional and skip the noise. And now you've seen behind the curtain. You know the truth, school rewards strategy more than suffering. And if you're willing to let go of outdated beliefs, the guilt, the grind, the I have to do everything mindset, you can actually take control. So here's your challenge. Start today, not by doing more, but by doing less, smarter. Take one class and reverse engineer the grade. Audit your routine and cut the things that drain you. Build a study system that works even on your worst day. Pick one principle from this video and apply it now, not tomorrow, not someday. Now, and if this video hit home, if it made you feel seen, send it to a friend who needs to hear it too. The system makes you think you're the only one struggling, but you're not. We're all in this together, and the more we share, the more we all rise. You don't need to work harder to win. You just need to stop playing by rules that were never meant to serve you. Now go bend the system and make it work for you. Your future self is already thanking you.